Hi, everyone. I am Julie Labby. I am a matchmaker with It's Just Lunch. And I have Jolene Beaton with us today. She is our dating relationship coach. Hi, Jolene.
Hi, everyone.
So I wanted to just share with everyone today a little bit about what coaching means in the world of dating and relationship. And since we have an expert right here, I thought we could start with just a little bit. I think when, we're here to get people on high quality dates and help them navigate into a high functioning, healthy, awesome relationship. And so there's nothing, nobody can do the things that we can do to not only help our clients to pre-screen and get them on really great dates and do old fashioned matchmaking for them. But we know as matchmakers, there's a lot of support that our clients need. And I think sometimes they don't even realize it. But I think when we say coaching, and we suggest that as a way for them to be successful in their dating, they hear therapy. It's just like so not sexy, right? So
Right.
Tell me, what does coaching really mean in dating and love and relationship?
So I think that one of the things, I think probably the best way for me to start would be to tell you how I got into the coaching world with It's Just Lunch. So when we started 30 years ago, we were an introduction service. And that model still exists today where there are low pressure dates. There's maturity in dating this way. There's transparency. So you can go out, meet someone and think, yeah, I would like to see him again. Or, you know what, nice guy, not for me. And it was okay to be that way. So what I noticed was years ago is there were people that this worked for. This model was great. They loved it and they'd have a tremendous amount of success. And then there were some people that were still frustrated in dating and didn't like it. And I got fascinated with what would make someone love the experience and someone not like it. So about, 6-7 years ago now, I just sat and listened to literally hundreds and hundreds of people tell me their experience, and why they were happy and what was working. And it always went a little deeper in what was really, there was always kind of a root in what was going on in their life that we weren't really looking at. We were looking at, give me 6 foot tall Christian and a hiker, but that missing element of a key piece was missing. So coaching was born, and since then I've realized that there's 3 parts to this. There is the dater, me, I'm accountable for my love life. There is the matches, the dates, IJL, right? That part. And then there's the date itself, which can be a catalyst for a lot of chemistry. So when I think of coaching, I think that there is the system of meeting, the opportunity, It's Just Lunch. The matches, we just have great people. So, that's what makes it work, right? And there's the date itself, which is an art. In my opinion, chemistry can be created. And I love high level dates. And then there's the person. Where are you in your love life, in your dating life? And how can we tailor that experience to you specifically, your personality, and your hopes and dreams. So that's how I see coaching, that fits into this whole system.
Yeah, which is great. I love the 3 parts there because you still, even though we do all the work as matchmakers, you have to show up. You still have to be the person that attracts that person that you're looking for. You can't just be like, hey, I'm just gonna just trust the system, which we do ask our clients to trust
Right.
us, trust the process. We haven't been doing this for nearly 3 decades for nothing, but they still have to seal the deal, so to speak, right? And dating is a skill and a strategy just like anything. And I think people don't realize that sometimes.
Right.
So what do you do when you just have to still educate people or kind of break through that idea of people say, oh, well, I'm great on dates. I don't need coaching? Because a lot of times I feel like saying, but I do. I need, no offense, but I'm going to get you out on great dates. But my most favorite and amazing success stories have come from times when you've given me insight on someone that I didn't see. And so how do you kind of break through people's idea of, oh, I'm fine on dates, when, you know, they're single and they're calling us? So something's happening there that maybe they're not seeing.
Well, it's such a great question, because really people that opt to do coaching are almost on a different level altogether, because they're saying, I have worked with people that are, running billion-dollar companies, and they wouldn't think of not working with a coach in some form of their life, right? I have two mentors. I have a therapist. I have a nutritionist when I need to work on that. I have, I employ people, and then on top of that, I surround myself with high-level individuals that are thinking and creating and growing. So when someone says, I don't need coaching, I'm great on dates, sometimes, I think it's okay just to say, all right, let's see how it unfolds, right? And more often than not, these people will come back after a few dates and they'll want to know what's not working. I like all these women, I'm exchanging numbers. What is going on? Why are the dates looking great? Why are they saying, yes, I want to meet you? And then they're not following through. What is going on? So, sometimes I can pick out from feedback and say, oh gosh, this is simple. We can change it. And then sometimes it's, they're just unaware. They're unaware of the vibe they put out. They're unaware of how many times they talk about their ex-husband or their late husband, or they might be unaware of, that they're an observer. They're just listening, but they're not telling a great story or painting a picture of what it would be like to date them. So, I mean, the answer is so complex at times, it's funny because there are simple ways to talk about dating, but once you get one-on-one with a coach, we go down the rabbit hole together and figure that out. So I guess to answer.
And that's what I like too, that it is very like when we say personalized coaching, it really is like, you don't have a cookie cutter program. I know that you have steps that you go through, but it's really person by person and much more, I think, personalized than probably any kind of coaching they would get outside of like a life coach or something, because you're talking about their dating life. It's very emotional.
Well, what's interesting about that is it's perfect because we have this secret tool that no one else has. So we get the feedback. We know what is really going on. And any coach outside of It's Just Lunch doesn't get that. They don't know. They can think, assume, but we just know. It's very black and white. And so I love, sometimes my role is just to help be a decision maker. John, I got to tell you, she thinks you're her dream man. So call her up this weekend and go take a hike to a hidden waterfall and see what's going on. Just check it out, try it out. So sometimes it's just making that decision so that people don't have to overthink things.
Yeah, just give them the direction. Now, people are busy, and yet I think everything that's going on with COVID right now is really getting people to slow down, take stock, reinvest in themselves, look at how can I put my personal life first. And yet people are still busy. So how do you, what should people, if they were going to work with you, what should they expect in terms of a time commitment to really put the work in, but also to realize that they have to balance dating with a busy life?
Yeah. So it looks differently for everybody. Sometimes I'll get really super strategic people that just want a data dump and then have me give them information and tools, and then they go work on it, and it's great. Some people really want the time to go through past relationships, the time spent to create what a new relationship will look like. Talk about some of their insecurities and really how to challenge themselves to take action and move that needle forward. So I think it looks a lot of different ways. I guess what you're asking is, what can people count on? So, I like to work in 3-month boxes, and, I'll have a steady call every 4 weeks just to make sure that we are moving that needle forward, but I'm available the whole 3 months. So people will call me, let's say that they're going on a second date and a third date, with someone, and they're trying to decide, should they, pause their membership or not. I might talk to them 2-3 times that week and give them great ideas, or just like laser coaching really quickly. So my role, I feel like, is not just to do these sessions and be done. I feel like my role is to have them have a shift in their love life, which is different for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I feel like, as matchmakers, we're still helping our clients with that process too, and influencing to them to, like, I will share with people, like, really employ Jolene. Like, I wish I could work with her, so
Right.
really, like, put her to work. And I know you're down for that, because the more you can get in there with a client, if they want it, the better.
Absolutely. And I'm always saying that. I'm saying, use me, call me. Like, I
Yeah.
have great information. I
Right.
have it
Right.
locked in
Okay,
my
good.
head.
Now, and I think that the other, when I was single and dating, I just remember going on lots of dates to, quote unquote, get the practice. The problem was that I was practicing the wrong things, right? I was practicing the wrong conversation, the wrong skills, the wrong mindset. And so I was getting the same results, right? And so then I started working with a coach, and not too long after, I met my husband, my now husband. So where do you feel like people, like, what are the top 3 areas that you feel people really need work on when it comes to getting into the right relationship? So if we're getting them on all these great dates, what are the 3 areas that you see where people kind of miss the opportunity?
That is such a great question. And, I was thinking what a coach is, for this interview, and finding out what the best way to explain it was. And I was thinking one of the best ways to explain it is like a caddy to a professional golfer, right? Most people think like, oh, he just carries the bag. And I actually looked it up this morning, because I was like, well, what does he do? I knew he did more, but what is it? What does it look like? And and he supports this athlete through his entire career, and he knows the game better sometimes than the dater. And so I think that that's one aspect to look at, is you have someone that's kind of telling you where you're at in your game and what you need to spend your time on. And ask me, I want to get straight to the point. So ask me,
Yeah.
the question.
So but I like the setup, because then you're saying, like, from an outsider's perspective, where do you think people are, what are the top 3 things that people, where do they get in their own way? Is
Okay.
it what I'm expecting to see on a first date? Is it that they find that, like, they like everyone and then they just need to choose someone? Or what are kind of the 3 things that you typically see?
So it kind of goes back to what you were saying. The number one thing I think is the dates they're okay. They're just all okay. And they could be so much better. And this is interesting because, it kind of circles back to what you were saying about clients that say, I'm great on dates. And I'm always thinking, you're okay. You're okay. You can be better. You've
You're not that
got
great.
stories locked inside you. You have this inspiration. I did an interview yesterday with Michael O'Neill. He's the creator and host of the Solopreneur Hour podcast. And we were going back and forth. And I said, if I'm asked a question, what'd you do? Someone asked me, what'd you do last week? And I can say, oh, I took my dog out, and, and I cooked a great meal, and, and I hung out with friends, or I could answer it and say, I'm so routine during the week. I'm like early to bed, early to rise. But on the weekend, I throw this little device in a drawer and go exploring. I don't want to see it for 48 hours. I just want to connect. I want to be out there and, live spontaneously. And I was thinking, that's a good answer. Now you're getting, my personality. It's fun. And he took it to another level, and he said, well, what if I answered it like this? I grew up going to these, on these, with my grandfather, on these fishing trips for salmon. And I really wanted to recreate that, this weekend. So, I took my son out and, and just, he thought it was magical. And it was such a connected moment that it made me, think about what's important in life. And, my mind was blown. No one is dating like this, right? So number one is storytelling and conversation. And people need to step up their games. And then the number two thing is past relationships. Get complete on these. Know why you were in it. Know why you're out of it. Know what you learned from it, and go spread that out. That energy, this new energy of I want to create something great. Put that out in the world. And then the third thing, it's got to be stop listening to friends and family. It's like everybody has this little tribe, but they only know what they know. And it can really put negative belief systems into someone. So, if you're going to put your time and effort here, focus on the positive and really, find out. Another thing from Michael O'Neill yesterday, it was such a great interview. He said, what makes you truly happy, and do those things, and so I think if you are doing those in your personal life outside of dating, all of that energy, it becomes magic, these magic moments, right? And you shouldn't have to date 30 people to find one that you want to see exclusively, right? So so we work on all of that. We work on small strategy, we work on the big picture of your love life, and then we look at how to build an intimate relationship, when to be exclusive, when to get physical. So
I love that. And I think the last kind of point that I wanted to make and question to ask is that, that's where chemistry happens, right? When people are being vulnerable, they're showing up, they're being themselves, but some people need to know, who am I supposed to be? Who do I want to be? And how do I become that person more? Or I'm not that interesting. Like, Jolene, tell me some things to go do. Like, I need to make myself more interesting, but there's lots of tools and resources, podcasts, books, videos. I just know, and I'll make the analogy with a personal trainer. If I want to get uber fit, it's, for me, just my level of motivation and just having the skill to get super fit, I'm not going to get from a YouTube video. I mean, that might be like a nice workout that I do, but if I really want to level up and get to the next level of fitness, in this case, the next level of your relationship life, where do you see a coach really that one-on-one connection being so much, just adding more value than, hey, go read this book? I know you'll use those tools, but my sense is it's the difference happens when then you have someone to reflect it with.
So it's the action part, right? It's the action and the accountability that is making these shifts. So joining It's Just Lunch is taking massive action. I mean, you are already saying to the world, I want a great relationship, and I am willing to put some effort and time. And everybody comes to It's Just Lunch really motivated and really excited and really hopeful that every time they meet someone, it could be it, right? And really ready. So for me, it's taking even more action, saying, all right, I am really ready, and I'm willing to make that shift, because why not? Because why not?
Yeah, why not? Love it. All right. Well, you motivated me today. I need to, every time I talk to you, I feel like I get a pearl that I can apply to my own life, even in a marriage. And I know that even with some of our clients, once they're in the relationship, you can help them kind of navigate through that. So that's another option that I think people need to know that you're available for. But this was really helpful. I'm really glad we had this conversation. And any last words to people before we sign off?
I was thinking about it, and thank you for all those kind words. And I just love working with you. I feel like sometimes I am just a cheerleader for a lot of my clients too, that I'm more certain than they are that it is going to work and that they are in the right place. And there's a lot that comes with that validation, you know, of us saying, you're exactly where you need to be. These dates are great. You're not doing anything wrong. You know, it's
Yeah.
not, it's not black and white. You know, it's so, so thank you for this. This
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes it's just saying you're doing all the right stuff. So that's good too. All right. Well, I hope you have an awesome day. I hope this was helpful, everyone. And if anybody have questions, just talk to your matchmaker.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, Julie.
All right. Bye.